I'm still reeling. I never thought it would happen to me. I'm Garin, 44, and until a few weeks ago I was a happily married architect living in Seattle. My wife, Imogen, 42, was the light of my life. We'd been together for 15 years, married for 12. We had a good life, a beautiful home overlooking Puget Sound, and a comfortable routine. Or so I thought. It started subtly. Imogen, a successful marketing director, began working late more frequently. She attributed it to a big project at work, a new campaign launch. I didn't question it. I trusted her implicitly. I'd make dinner and she'd arrive home exhausted, barely able to eat before collapsing into bed. Our intimacy dwindled, which she blamed on stress. Again, I accepted it. Looking back, the signs were there, clear as day. But I was blinded by love, by trust, by the simple belief that my wife would never betray me. I was a fool. The first real crack appeared during a weekend trip to Portland. We'd planned it for months, a romantic getaway to explore the city's art scene and enjoy some quality time together. But Imogen was distant, preoccupied. She spent hours on her phone, claiming she was dealing with work emergencies. She'd step outside to take calls, whispering into the receiver, her face flushed. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed incessantly. Curiosity, a rare emotion for me in our relationship, got the better of me. I knew her password, our anniversary date. I told myself I was just checking to make sure it wasn't a real emergency from her office. That's all, it wasn't. It was a text message from someone named Kendrick. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow night, thinking about you all day." My blood ran cold. I scrolled through the messages. They were explicit, intimate, filled with a passion that Imogen hadn't shown me in months. My heart pounded in my chest, a painful, erratic rhythm. I felt sick, betrayed, utterly devastated. I wanted to scream, to confront her right then and there, but I couldn't. I needed to gather my thoughts to process what I was reading. I quietly put her phone back on the counter, my hands shaking. I walked out onto the balcony and stared out at the city lights, trying to make sense of the chaos swirling inside me. How could she do this to me? To us, when Imogen came out of the shower, she seemed normal, oblivious. She asked me what I was doing, and I mumbled something about enjoying the view. I couldn't look her in the eye. The rest of the weekend was a blur. I went through the motions, pretending everything was fine, but inside I was crumbling. We returned to Seattle on Sunday evening. I barely spoke to Imogen during the drive. She noticed my silence, of course, and asked if something was wrong. I just said I was tired. I couldn't bring myself to confront her, not yet. That night I couldn't sleep. I tossed and turned, replaying the text messages in my head, each word a dagger twisting in my heart. I got out of bed and went to my study. I needed to think, to plan. I decided I wouldn't confront her directly. Not yet. I needed proof, concrete evidence that I could use to expose her betrayal. The next few weeks were agonizing. I became a shadow in my own home, observing Imogen's every move. I started checking her phone records, her emails, her social media accounts. I felt like a spy, a detective in my own life. It was degrading, but I had to know the truth. I discovered that Kendrick was a colleague of hers, a senior executive at her company. They'd been having an affair for at least 6 months, maybe longer. I found emails arranging secret meetings, hotel reservations, and even photographs of them together. The evidence was overwhelming. I confided in my best friend, Anselm. He was shocked and supportive, offering a shoulder to cry on and a listening ear. He encouraged me to confront Imogen, to end the charade, but I wasn't ready. I wanted to make her pay, to make her feel the pain she had inflicted on me. I started documenting everything, creating a file with all the evidence I had gathered. I consulted with a lawyer who advised me on my legal options. Divorce was inevitable, but I wanted to ensure I was protected financially. One evening, Imogen told me she had to work late again. I knew she was lying. I followed her. I parked my car a few blocks from her office and waited. Sure enough, an hour later she emerged, not alone. Kendrick was with her. They walked hand in hand to a nearby restaurant. I watched them through the window, their faces illuminated by candlelight. They laughed, they touched, they looked like a couple in love. It was a sickening sight. I felt a surge of anger, a rage so intense I thought I might explode. I went home and waited for Imogen to return. It was after midnight when she finally walked through the door. She looked surprised to see me still awake. "Garin, what are you doing up?" she asked, her voice a little too innocent. I know, I said, my voice cold and hard. Know what? She stammered, her eyes widening. I know about you and Kendrick, I said, pulling out the file I had prepared. I spread the evidence on the table, the text messages, the emails, the photographs. Imogen's face drained of color. She stared at the evidence in disbelief, her eyes filled with panic. Garin, I can explain, she said, her voice trembling. Explain what? Explain how you betrayed me. Explain how you lied to me for months, I said, my voice rising. She started to cry, tears streaming down her face. I'm so sorry, Garin, it just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far, it just happened. I repeated, my voice laced with sarcasm. You didn't mean for it to go this far. You planned secret meetings, you exchanged explicit messages, you had an affair. How could you be so callous? So cruel. She tried to touch me, but I recoiled. Don't touch me, I said, my voice filled with disgust. I still love you, Garin, she sobbed. Love me? I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. If you loved me, you wouldn't have done this. You wouldn't have destroyed our marriage. I told her I wanted a divorce. I told her to get out of my house. I told her I never wanted to see her again. She begged me to reconsider, to forgive her. But I was done. The trust was broken, the love was gone. All that was left was anger and resentment. She left that night, taking a suitcase with her. I watched her drive away, feeling a strange mix of emotions: sadness, anger, relief. The divorce was messy and contentious. Imogen tried to paint me as controlling and emotionally unavailable, but my lawyer presented the evidence I had gathered, and the truth came out. The judge ruled in my favor, awarding me a significant portion of our assets. I also made sure that Kendrick's wife, Aella, found out about the affair. I sent her an anonymous email with all the evidence. I don't know what happened between them, but I heard that he was fired from his job and that his marriage was in shambles. I know some people might say I was vindictive, that I should have just moved on, but I needed to make them pay for what they had done to me. I needed to feel like I had some control over the situation. It's been a year since the divorce. I'm still healing, still trying to rebuild my life. I've sold the house in Seattle and moved to a small town in Oregon. I'm focusing on my work, on my hobbies, on myself. I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to trust someone again, but I'm open to the possibility. The pain of betrayal is something I'll never forget. It's a scar that will always be there, a reminder of the fragility of love and the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface. But I'm determined to move forward, to find happiness again, to prove that I can survive even the deepest wounds. I hope that sharing my story will help others who have experienced similar betrayals. Know that you're not alone. Know that you can survive. Know that you can find happiness again. It won't be easy, but it's possible. I promise. And to Imogen and Kendrick, if you're reading this, I hope you're both miserable. You deserve each other.